Well, guys, the problem with going to church is this. Now, before I get into that, all religious people are about to get up in arms because I'm implying that going to church is a bad thing, that there's something wrong with going to church. In a sense, there is. And here's where the issue I have with the phrase going. I don't necessarily have a problem with going to church. I have a problem with the phrase, the terminology, and what it does to our psyche. Because words have meaning, phrases have meaning. And whether you realize it or not, and there are studies that show that this stuff has. Why do you think marketing people change terminology? Why do you think media personalities change terminology? Why do you think politicians and political candidates change terminology and change the way they say things? They change it to change your psyche, to change the way you think, to change the way you view something. See, years ago, in an older generation, we used to hear go to meeting. We didn't hear go to church. We heard we're going to go to Sunday meeting. We're going to go to Wednesday meeting. We're going to wear our Sunday go to meeting clothes, right? It was a go to meeting. We understood that we as a believer are the ecclesia, or more modern terminology, are the church. And that we go to the central point and meet with other believers. We worship together. We get teaching together. We edify each other. And a lot of times we would break bread together. And then we would leave that gathering and we would go back to our homes and our jobs, into the gym, and to wherever else we went, into the general marketplace, into society as a whole, and we bring that belief system with us, right? We understood that it was a lifestyle, and we were to live the lifestyle, live what we believe. Just like the gym culture. You got people that go to the gym, and the reason they go to the gym is so they can do whatever they want to do on their spare time. They can be lazy on their spare time. They can eat, drink, whatever they want to on their spare time. They don't live the gym life, the gym culture. You can tell the difference. You got someone that goes to the gym, but they see no gain, right? And you don't see any gain in them. It's because they don't live the life. That's the same concept as going to church. You go to church, and then you leave church. You don't bring the Christian faith, the Christian lifestyle, the Christian ethos with you into society, into culture. Just as someone who lives the gym life, they go to the gym, they work out, and when they go home, their sleep patterns are different. They're disciplined in their sleep routines. They get the right amount of sleep. Their diet is different. Their hydration levels are different. They live the life with them, and everybody knows it. They can see it. They can see it in the brightness of the eyes. They can see it in how they walk. They can see it in their overall health. Same thing with church. If we get the notion of we're going somewhere and then we're leaving, and when we leave something behind, right? When you leave it behind. When you go to the restaurant, you leave the restaurant behind. When you go to the grocery store, you leave the grocery store behind. And eventually you consume all that stuff, and then you need to go again. But if we go to meeting, right? So when we leave church, we're not supposed to leave it behind. But we got that in our head as leave. But if we go to meeting and we come home from the meeting and we live the lifestyle, we impact everything around us in a different way. It's ingrained in our head, and our thought process will be different if we get that into our noggin, absorb it in our gray matter, that we are the ecclesia. We are a gathering of believers. We are the church at large, the body of Christ. And that when we go to meeting, we are meeting with other people of like mind, like belief, and we worship together, and we build each other up. And then when we depart from that meeting and we go about our business, we're still taking it with us. It's like people that go to a school board meeting, right? They don't just leave that stuff there. They deal with it throughout the week and a month, the next meeting. People in AA, right? They go to a meeting, and when they leave that meeting, they take the core principle beliefs of that meeting with them into their everyday life. And they don't stop talking and fellowshipping with other people of like belief and like mind. They keep in contact with those people throughout the week on a day-to-day basis, sometimes multiple times a day. Right? That's something that used to be done in the body of Christ. But we've gotten away from that with the concept of going to church and then going home, is we leave it behind. And we can see the effects it's had on our culture, on our society, on our government. We need to change the terminology and understand that going to church is not the answer. We need to get back to the understanding that we're going to a meeting. We're meeting with like-minded believers. And that it is there to build each other up and take that belief system and take that ethos into the world at large with us. And I believe we can start seeing a greater impact on our culture, in our society, in our places of work, in our gyms, and even on social media. But it's going to take a change in how we process things in between the ears. Give that some thought.